बार हमारी चर्चा चल रही है on alcohol use and misuse, and today we are going to be discussing some questions and answers that have come to me from you. So this would be the last session where we discuss uh, alcohol and related, any queries related that. So if you have any questions, you can still put it in the chat box and we'll try to answer it. We will start the session soon, but before we do that, I would request Pooja Mehta ji to please conduct the morning.
थैंक यू मैम। सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। हमारे गुरु स्वर्गीय श्री के अग्रवाल जी के चरणों में मैं सादर नमन करती हूँ। आज गुरुवार तारीख 16 सितंबर 2021 भादो माह और शुक्ल पक्ष की 10वीं तिथि है। भादो माह में शुक्ल पक्ष की चतुर्थी से लेकर चतुर्दशी तक भगवान गणेश का उत्सव, गणेश उत्सव बड़े ही धूमधाम से मनाया जाता है। घर घर में भगवान गणेश की स्थापना की जाती है, उनकी पूजा की जाती है। तो आइए हम सब भी मिलकर आज भगवान गणेश की वंदना करते हैं। अजं निर्गुणं निर्विकल्पं निरीहम् अजं निर्विकल्पं निराकारमेकम् निरानन्दिकानन्दीयपूर्णम् परं निर्गुणं निर्विशेषं निरीहम् परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजे माम् परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजे माम् गुणातीतमानं चिदानन्दरूपं चिदाभासकं सर्वकं ध्यानगम्यम् गुणेन्द्रियमाकाशरूपं परेशम् परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजे माम् जगत्कारणं कारणं सुरादिं सुखादिं गणेशं जगत्व्यापिनं सुरेशम् परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजे माम् परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजे माम्। अर्थात हम उस चैतन्य स्वरूप शक्ति को, जो इस पूरे जगत का मूल कारण है, जिससे सब कुछ उत्पन्न हुआ है, जो इस जगत के आदि में थी, मध्य में है और अंत में रहेगी, हम ऐसी परम शक्ति को, हम ऐसे परब्रह्म स्वरूप गणेश भगवान को नमस्कार करते हैं, बार बार प्रणाम करते हैं। भगवान गणेश की कृपा सभी को प्राप्त हो, सभी सुखी रहें, प्रसन्न रहें, स्वस्थ रहें, ऐसी हम प्रार्थना करते हैं और इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ अपनी वाणी को विराम देते हैं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Pooja ji, for that wonderful prayer this morning. Um, yes, we'll start the discussion. So, again, I would say that this is, we are doing this topic right now. I know that it might sound a little odd, but this is a pervasive problem, and it is also a problem that exists in the community, and people don't usually want to talk about it. So I thought we'll discuss just a few pointers, and we'll talk about the crisis management um, as well as how to deal with someone who's become unconscious, या फिर अगर किसी को alcohol, there is a problem, then how to be a support group for them, how to help them get out of the problem. We're going to discuss those things today. So let's begin. How to get over a hangover easily. So we've discussed this briefly before. So I just want to actually write it down here. Yeah. So सबसे पहले, how do you prevent it? Uh, whatever drink the person is drinking, they should drink it slowly. It should be sipped, not gulped. Taking a large amount of alcohol in a short time will cause more of a hangover. Secondly, it is advisable to have a meal before your drink in order to avoid the effects of a hangover. Thirdly, you can consider between your drinks to have a glass of water. So, hydration also is very, very important. So, I wanted to write prevention. We've talked about it. कि होता क्यों है? Let's understand that as well. So, नंबर वन, अल्कोहल का जो डिग्रेडेड प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं, देयर आर सम स्टडीज दैट से दैट इज व्हाट causes these hangovers. Once you stop, even when you stop drinking, right, जो स्टमक में जो अल्कोहल होता है वो थोड़ी धीरे धीरे करके आपके सिस्टम में जाते रहता है. So that is what it causes a long period of intoxication. So that is also one of the reasons. इसके अलावा जो sleep के hormones हैं, they can they are disrupted. The sleep hormones are disrupted, and that is why sometimes some people describe the feeling of a hangover. They compare it with a jet lag. So उसमें भी sleep hormones जो हैं वो disrupt हो जाते हैं. So that is another cause. um, I think that's pretty much it. So we've talked about prevention, we've talked about cause, and how do you treat it? Treatment is, we've already discussed. Um, it would be good hydration. So you can, jo bhi that feeling of grogginess that you get, you can take some, caffeine. So the ऐसा कहा गया है कि caffeine containing drinks like coffee and tea, they are not directly, they don't help to combat the hangover, but जो grogginess आती है in the hangover, it can combat that, number one. And also it is a stimulant, so it will help you. That is another thing. Then you can take some over the counter pain medication, but you have to be very careful. If you are a heavy drinker already, then your liver will be compromised. So most of these drugs, especially paracetamol, we've talked about it yesterday, paracetamol will also affect the liver. So you are not supposed to take that as much. So a lot of people do take still take Disprin for their headaches, so they can continue doing that as well. So Disprin will help. इसके अलावा जैसा मैंने बोला था कि स्लीप हार्मोन्स जो हैं ये थोड़े डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं. तो जब स्लीप हार्मोन्स डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं, देयर आर सम स्टडीज दैट आर लुकिंग इनटू द यूज ऑफ मेलेटोनिन एज वेल. Melocet, अगर if you take it one night before and on, the day itself, that can also help you in sort of regularizing your sleep hormones. So I think that the hangover has been dealt with, because ये hangover का question जो है ये हर रोज आ रहा था. So I think this should help. So good hydration, and उसके बाद में जो भी symptoms है, if you are groggy, then you can have some caffeine. If you are having some pains and muscle aches, then or a headache, you can take some painkillers. But you have to be very careful about the painkillers that you are taking. Alcohol and other drugs. Are there some medicines which are contraindicated with alcohol? So yes, there are a lot of medications that are not to be consumed with alcohol. It's a very, very long list. So I'm just going to talk about it broadly. Sleeping medicines can interact with alcohol. उनका जो effect है वो बढ़ सकता है. So you have to be careful with sleeping aids. इसके अलावा जो प्रोस्टेट की कुछ मेडिसिन होती हैं, जो एजोसिन, टामिलोसिन, इस तरह की जो प्राजोसिन, इस तरह की जो दवाइयां हैं, they can also interfere with your alcohol, so they should be avoided. In antibiotics, we have discussed a long list. उसमें से कुछ चुनिंदे नाम मैं आपको अभी बताती हूँ. It's a very, very long list. And usually with antibiotics, alcohol should be not, you should not be consuming it. So some names are like cefoperazone, doxycycline, erythromycin, metronidazole. इस तरह की जो antibiotics है, even ketoconazole, जो antifungals है, usually most of the antifungals are contraindicated with alcohol. So this is a very broad list. So my suggestion is that if you are taking any medicines, you should speak to your doctor whether this particular medicine has any interaction with alcohol or not. There is a general saying, if you have a cold and cough, some warm drinks like rum, brandy can help in recovering fast. Is it a myth or truth? So it is a myth. Brandy and these cold and cough they produce a feeling of warmth, and in the very in places like Kashmir and जो बहुत ठंडे जगह होते हैं, वहां पे they use these drinks to stay warm. But in other areas, using it as cough medicine, it's not very helpful. It will just kind of put you to sleep, or there is no direct effect of alcohol on a cold or a cough. And even the another concept that goes with this is they think that this alcohol is going to kill the virus or the bacteria that is causing this disease, and even that is a myth, because this is not possible. आपको अगर याद होगा जब कोविड हुआ था, then Trump had released a statement कि अगर disinfectant से कोरोना वायरस मर सकता है तो why not consume it. So this is it's we all know the how silly that was. So this is not, it is not going to kill the virus, or it is not going to kill the bacteria. So that is also not going to happen. The only thing that happens is that you feel there is a feeling of warmth, and that's pretty much how it helps. So how to bring so all these slides have been made by Vamsi ji. So I must thank him for that. How to bring someone out of unconscious state after having too much of alcohol. Any medicine we can give at that time. So unconscious state say, usually what happens in alcohol is that you get a blackout. Blackout मतलब आपको कुछ second के लिए, कुछ समय के लिए you pass out. You have to just firstly just make sure that their breathing airway is clear. I think Saurabh sir had taken a session on CPR, so he must have talked about it. So उनके जो airway है वो clear होने चाहिए. उनको आपको left side में उनको सोना चाहिए. Not, they should not be lying down straight, and they should not be on the right side also they can be, but left lateral is always preferred. Left side में उनको छोड़ सकते हैं. If they are vomiting, then make sure that they don't ingest the vomiting, या फिर उनके नाक से जो vomitus है वो उनके वापस अंदर ना चले जाए, because उसमें क्या होता है, वो lungs में जाने का खतरा होता है, and that can be very, very dangerous. So that's what you do. इसके अलावा you have to just monitor, and this is if someone is unconscious and they are not you're not able to arouse them, then you should try to call an emergency. This is there could be something that is seriously wrong with the patient or the person, so you should speak to the emergency and call them. Uh, Other than that, I think that's pretty much what you do. So how, you can't, अगर वो arouse नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, if they are talking and you think that they are conscious and they've just taken this state of sleep, then you can let them be, but they should be on their left side and they should not be left alone. You should be monitoring them at all times. So that's pretty much it. Cases of rise in ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, are they related to alcohol during or before pregnancy? So, uh, before pregnancy, the alcohol is not going to affect the future children. That's not possible. But if you are consuming it during your pregnancy, then yes. And even so, remember that your pregnancy starts, a few weeks before you actually know it starts. So if you're conceiving, if you're planning, then you should be avoiding alcohol at that time. So yes, they say that a few drinks is still okay, but these things are still a little undefined. And I would recommend that if you are planning a baby, then you should be avoiding alcohol altogether. How much quantity of alcohol is good for health? How much alcohol can act as medicine? Firstly, if you ask me personally, I don't believe in this concept that alcohol can act as medicine. um, जो cardio protective functions हैं, though there are a lot many इनटॉक्सिक जो सब्सटेंसेस हैं, जो टॉक्सिक नहीं हैं, वो बहुत सारे सब्सटेंसेस ऐसे हैं जो कार्डियो प्रोटेक्टिव हैं. इवन अ काढ़ा कैन बी कार्डियो प्रोटेक्टिव. कड़वा कसेला कुछ भी आप लेंगे, दैट कैन बी कार्डियो प्रोटेक्टिव. सो आई पर्सनली डू नॉट बिलीव दैट अल्कोहल, द प्रॉब्लम विद अल्कोहल इज दैट इट इट स्टिमुलेट्स योर रिवॉर्ड सेंटर. सो उसके साथ में आपको उसकी अब्यूज या फिर उसका एडिक्शन की जो प्रॉब्लम है वो आ सकती है. सो आई वुड नॉट रिकमेंड दिस taking alcohol as a medicine. Occasional drinking, well, I mean, if you want to do it, yes, you can. But उसमें भी वो जो formula है, 1 drink for women and 2 drinks for men, that's pretty much all you can have, not more than that. So again, I would like to just bring in Sir's theories a bit. जो karwa ka so because alcohol, it has a large amount of sugars in it usually. And one thing I wanted to tell, जहाँ हैंगओवर की बात हो रही थी उसमें, so there have been some studies that have talked about how the clear alcohols, they do not cause the hangovers, but जो darker colored alcohols हैं, like whiskey, they cause more of a hangover. So that's what I was saying. So yes, I was talking about Sir's theory. So मैं कह रही थी कि जो करवा और कसेला, जो ये फूड ग्रुप्स होते हैं, दे डोंट स्टिमुलेट द रिवॉर्ड सेंटर. आपको कभी भी काढ़ा से एडिक्शन नहीं होता. आपकी आदत जरूर बन सकती है वो, लेकिन वो लत नहीं बनती. सो दोज कैन ऑल्सो गिव यू दैट कार्डियो प्रोटेक्टिव फंक्शन. सो आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट डोंट टेक अल्कोहल एज अ मेडिसिन. Social drinking, I mean, because it is a part of society, I wouldn't say much, but follow the formula of 1 drink or 2 drink for men. How much time gap should be there between medicine and alcohol? 4 hours. These days, teenagers are seen drinking alcohol. What effect will it have on their health? Well, I have told you that if you start drinking alcohol before the age of 15, then the chances of you being dependent on alcohol, of that person or that child being dependent on alcohol in the future is much more. And then that time period increases of how much you are exposing your body to alcohol. जितना पीते जाएंगे, एक तो addiction हो सकता है, दूसरा इनकी जो body organs है, if they're continuously drinking for a larger period of time, then the body organs will get affected. So yes, it is not a good practice. We should discourage it by all means, and no one should be drinking before the legal drinking age. ये अगर आप किसी को देखे भी, तो you should discourage it. I know of a lot of families who जहाँ पे the men or the women, they drink every night, and because they drink every night, they are pretty okay with it, and पूरे घर में जो बच्चे होते हैं, they also see that. So And sometimes it's also encouraged that, oh yeah, why not share a drink with me? You're already 15, you're already 16. So this should be discouraged by all means. If there is someone in your house who is drinking around children, you should tell them not to expose the children to this. So if they don't see it, they don't know it. Yes, you should talk to them about alcohol, and if there is someone who is drinking alcohol in the house, you should be very clear with them, have a discussion with them that this is what is going on. But रोज रोज उनके सामने अगर if they are drinking, then it's going to be on their subconscious mind, and this should be avoided. What should be given to a person to lower the effects of too much alcohol? So have a meal or have some heavy appetizers before your drink. This will make sure that you don't drink too much, number one. And जो carbohydrates है, they will reduce the effect of alcohol. So हमेशा, so yes, even in the hangover, I wanted to say, because hangover has been such a popular question over the last few days. So hangover का treatment भी यही है. Just have 2 slices of bread or have a paratha in the morning, and the hangover will go away. So carbs, जो जिसमें high amount of carbs है, whether it is rice, whether it is poha, whether it is 2 slices of bread, not complex carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates आपको लेना है. So baked potato would not work as well. So a bowl of rice or maybe a paratha or something like that you can have. So we've talked about this. What should be given? So yes, carbohydrates. Have alcohol. Have a glass of water in between your drinks. So this will also firstly it will give you the hydration that you need. Alcohol causes dryness and it causes dehydration. So it will give you the hydration and it will also limit. So आपकी जो पेट की थैली है वो तो उतनी छोटी ही है, तो उसमें अगर आप उसको आधा पानी आधा अल्कोहल से देंगे, जो अल्कोहल सिस्टम में है वो इन सम वेज उसको आप देख सकते हैं कि वो डाइल्यूट हो जाएगा. सो दिस कैन बी डन. एंड जैसा मैंने बोला, जो ड्रिंक आप अगर आप पी रहे हैं तो यू शुड हैव इट स्लोली. Why there is hangover with alcohol? I think we discussed this already. So this is a message by Vamsi ji. You're not an alcoholic, but your drinking may still be costing you love, health, wealth, and happiness. So a very good message. Thank you, Vamsi ji, for creating this. इसके अलावा आई थिंक शंकर लाल जी का एक सवाल था ऑन आईसीयू, सॉरी ऑन alcohol psychosis that was asked a couple of days ago. So alcohol psychosis usually happens when there are 2 times when it can happen. Either when there is alcohol intoxication, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा किसी ने अल्कोहल कंज्यूम कर लिया है, या फिर इट कैन हैपन विथ जब आप विड्रॉल में है या फिर आपने अल्कोहल छोड़ने की कोशिश करी, तब आपको ये हो सकता है. यूजुअली इसमें थायमीन की डेफिशिएंसी होती है. सो थायमीन देने से इसमें काफी हेल्प मिलती है. इसके अलावा हाइड्रेशन एंड अदर सिम्टोमेटिक ट्रीटमेंट कैन बी गिवन. इसके अलावा कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं चैट बॉक्स में. लेट मी जस्ट सी. क्रॉनिक अल्कोहलिक साइकोसिस अगर किसी को हो रही है तो थायमीन दे सकते हैं. थायमीन देख के देखिए, इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स चेक करवाइए. कभी कभी सोडियम जो है वो कम हो जाता है, उससे भी होती है. फाइंड अ डायग्नोसिस, मेक श्योर दैट द डायग्नोसिस इज करेक्ट. हाइपोनेट्रीमिया से साइकोसिस ना हो रही हो. Seeing person with fatty liver with cold drink misuse, especially coke, how we can blame alcohol? Seen person with fatty liver with cold drink misuse. हाँ जी, so coke, a lot of cold drink and ये coke जो है, this is definitely not good for you as well. इसमें बहुत high quantities of sugars होती हैं and it is basically a chemical, so you should avoid it. But alcohol के जो effects हैं, it is much more and it is much worse than a glass of coke. So one glass of alcohol and one glass of coke, if you compare, I would take I would not take any, but if a coke is better, definitely. You cannot say कि आपने एक जन को देख लिया जिसको coke से कुछ bad effect हो गया हो and then that is better than alcohol. No. Is sleep disturb or sleep improve after alcohol? डेफिनेटली इट विल बी डिस्टर्ब इन द लॉन्ग रन. आपको हो सकता है एक कुछ क्षण के लिए, कुछ समय के लिए आपको नींद आ जाए बिकॉज ऑफ द हाई लेवल्स ऑफ इंटॉक्सिकेशन. So you might be able to sleep. Going to sleep might be easier with alcohol, but staying asleep and having a good night's sleep after consuming alcohol is not possible. Definitely it will in the long run, alcohol जो है, जो quality of sleep होती है after consuming alcohol is not good. दीपक बाजपेयी जी कह रहे हैं, माई मदर इज फेसिंग स्किन रैशेस, प्लीज गाइड. दीपक जी, this is not essentially a dermatological thing. We don't have someone on board, but you can come and speak to us in the OPD. So the ID is 842909215117. We are available between 3 to 5, and we will try to help you out, or we will guide you on who you can contact. Rum is seen to improve cold and cough in winter. This is a myth. We've already talked about it. Effect of alcohol on metabolism. So there are certain kinds of alcohols which cause which may help or which may aid the weight loss, and there are certain kinds of alcohol which will cause weight gain. I don't have the list with me. I'll just try to share it if we have time at the end. क्या गुस्सा स्लीप हॉर्मोन्स को डिस्टर्ब करता है? नीड योर एडवाइस ऑन दिस, मैम. Not read any articles, to be very honest, whether there is any direct relationship between anger and disruption of the sleep hormones, but I'll try to read up on this. Right, so then the next question is Pantoprazole. Pantoprazole likha hai, but I think they meant pantoprazole can be taken. Yes, that can be taken. Brandy is given to children for cough and cold. Any reason? ये बस चलते आ रहा है जैसा. So it was given in the earlier ages because it helps them. They, जो मैंने बताया, going off to sleep. Going off to sleep is much easier once that that little amount of alcohol has been consumed. So yes, in the very colder areas, जैसा मैंने बताया, कश्मीर में they roam around with those little bottles of alcohol itself, and they do keep consuming that to stay warm. But there are so there was some even cold and cough medicines. Forget alcohol. कुछ ऐसी cold medicines हैं that cause they have an effect on sleep in the children. Even they are banned now. So brandy and these things, they should not be given uh, uh, without your doctor's advice. It should not be given. Alcohol leads to weight loss or weight gain. So few alcohols, the ones that cause weight gain, beer is there. And जिसमें भी calories ज़्यादा होती है, they will cause weight gain. There are some alcohols that can be taken while you are having weight loss. Again, I don't have the list with me, so I'll just look it up when we end this session. Display in presentation. Okay. So Karuna Pramod ji कह रहे हैं, we would like to have one show on topic sleep hormones disturbance. Okay, I'll try to do this. Effect of alcohol on asthmatics and acidic people. So acidity ये बढ़ाएगी आपकी. Asthmatic पे direct effect as such कुछ नहीं है, but I can't think of anything to say to asthmatic people. But yes, drink in moderation is all I would say. Antacid before having alcohol, I don't think there is any connection in preventing the hangovers. Red wine in limited quantity. Limited quantity, आपका limit might be different, but जो limit बताया गया है, that is 1 drink per person. So that you should consume. What about soda? So even soda, if it has a lot of calories, then that is not good for you. So जो without calories आते हैं, they are much better. Doctor's party, can alcohol delay the healing of dental socket? Doctor's party ने ये बात पूछी है. Well, yes, it can. Alcohol will cause so long. जो लोग लंबे समय तक अल्कोहल लेते हैं, इनका जो इम्यून सिस्टम है वो थोड़ा सा हल्का हो जाता है, तो थोड़ा सा उनका जो इम्यूनिटी है वो गिर जाती है. एंड यस, alcoholics have delayed wound healing in general, and so dental में अगर dental कोई issues है या dental infection है, then that will also be hampered with alcohol. So I think that's all that we have today. No more questions. Uh, I wanted to discuss those weight gain and weight loss alcohols. I think that 3 minutes. Let me see if we can do it. Vamsi ji, if you can just share a picture with me of the standard drink, या फिर आप share कर दीजिए उसको यहाँ पे till I'm looking at this, because ये question बार बार आ रहा है. So just go to Google Images and standard drink. So just alcohol में 100 calories or less है per serving. That is good for weight loss. So some examples are champagne, red wine, light beer. These are few of the ones that are good for weight loss. They are okay for weight loss. Again, I would say weight loss के लिए बहुत सारे you know, you have a lot of other things to help you with the weight loss. The alcohol is not one of them, but yes, if you're trying to do weight loss, and if you also have to consume alcohol, then these are the ones that you can have. So जैसा मैंने इनके बारे में बताया, there's something called dry warm mouth as well, and the worst ones are the sugary cocktails and beer and some frozen beach drinks. So these are also not allowed when you are trying to lose weight. मामजी जी मिला आपको? मैं कर देती हूँ छोड़िए. So we've so this is the जो drink है ये कितना है, अगर आप you can just try to, so again as I said, you can just go on Google and find out which drink it is and what is the standard drink का उसका क्या equivalent है. That would help you. This is not a very good, I think this would help. ये मैंने पहले भी शेयर किया हुआ है. Right. So this is one standard drink. This is 30 ml of the spirits. This is 100 ml of wine, 100 ml of sparkling wine, 285 ml of a full strength beer, and 425 ml of a light beer, and 285 ml of cider. So these are the uh, few things. इसके अलावा, if you drink something, then you can just go online and look up how does it equate to a standard drink and then consume accordingly. Please don't, try to consume more than the said amount. Otherwise, it's going to have deleterious effects. So I think ये भी मैंने पहले एक बार share किया था. Hmm. So इसमें ये भी clear नहीं है. I think that's pretty much all. जैसे मैंने बताया, you can just, if you're drinking anything other than what I have mentioned, you can just go online and see how does it equate to a standard drink and then consume accordingly. Drink करने के बाद कुछ याद नहीं रहता, so you remember before and have a glass of water in between your drinks, and that will help with this problem, and also try to eat. So that's all we have. to you today. Thank you everyone for joining in. We'll be back tomorrow with another show. Until then, goodbye.